I'm currently on the west coast of the Isle of Man at a beach called White Strand Beach, which is probably my favourite beach on the entire Isle of Man. And the primary reason for that is it's so secluded and hidden away that more often than not I can come here and shoot and be entirely alone. There's a real sense of solitude whenever you come to shoot here. From a photography perspective, I wouldn't say it's the most outstanding beach here that we have on the island, but I do think it's up there certainly with the best options. Now, tonight, I came very close to actually not coming out and shooting at all. Very, very close. I looked out the window and I saw there was a lot of high cloud in the sky, and I kind of thought sunset's going to be a bit of an anticlimax. The sun's going to be sniffed out. I'm not going to get anything. But I kind of had a moment of realization, and I thought, if I don't go out and try and get a shot, then the chances of me getting a shot are zero. But at least if I go out, at least I'm giving myself a chance of capturing something. And I'm so glad I did come out, because just if I turn you around just here, the sunset that I'm getting this direction now is absolutely wonderful. It really, really is. So I'm finding the tide is coming in at quite a fast and furious pace at the moment, and I'm actually pretty close to the waterline. So I reckon another 5 minutes and the water will be at me, or another big wave. That one's pretty close. So I better make this quick. You can see the sun is really, really burning with a vibrant yellow in that sort of direction. And we've got beautiful layers of cloud that go through the sky. And that adds real interest in there, over and above your average sunset. Now, I've set up a composition here on the rocks. You can see the camera just behind me. And I've got these rocks here, and what this is providing is, as the tide is coming in, it's kind of lapping over the rocks down here in the foreground, and I think it's adding real interest across the image. So I've got a lot going on in the foreground and a lot going on in the background as well. And for me, that's always a strong combination in any image. So at the moment, I'm just trying to time my pictures with the waves coming in over these rocks. And my kind of theory is, if I take enough images, sooner or later, one's going to stick. That water is getting very, very close now. I think I may have to get out of here. So I'm going to move my camera now before I get washed into the sea. Yeah, I timed that perfectly there. So I'm just going to go back here, get my equipment nice and safe, and I'll then talk you through the settings I used for that shoot. Wow, look at that sunset. Pretty beautiful. Those layers that are running through the cloud are just something else. And to think that I nearly didn't come out tonight just goes to show you, doesn't it? In terms of settings for that shot, I used a 2-stop hard edge ND grad filter, and that was to equalize the exposure between the sea and sky. Hard edge because I've got a hard edge of the image. I'm shooting a seascape and it's absolutely perfect for these situations. I also used the 6-stop little stopper filter, and that allowed me to pick up a bit of movement in the water, which is exactly what I wanted. But I did find that the little stopper was probably a little bit overkill for the amount of light I had here, or how little light I actually had here, because I ended up having to boost the ISO to about 400, which is way higher than I usually would. But I'm not too concerned, because on the D850 you don't tend to see very much noise until you really boost that ISO up, so I'm not too worried about that. I was shooting at about 1 second. That allowed me to pick up movement in the water, but not smooth it out to the point where you couldn't pick out detail in that water. And I was shooting at about f8 and 24mm as well, and I think that provided a nice wow. Sea trout just jumped over there. That provided a really nice combo, I think. Now back on the beach, and I was just shooting at those rocks that jut out into the sea just there, and the sun is just slipping below the horizon right now. absolutely spectacular, and not a soul to be seen. I've got this entire beach entirely to myself. Quite magnificent. I have to say, the Lee filters that I bought a couple of weeks ago now, and I've now had a few chances to use them. Wow, they are so impressive. They really, really are. I can already see the benefits and feel the benefits in my shooting, and I'm looking forward to using them a lot more over the coming months. They are a phenomenal bit of kit. Now, you may have noticed that the video probably felt quite rushed at the start, and there's a good reason for that actually, because it was rushed. It was very, very rushed. And the reason for that is I've kind of been struggling lately with, I think, a problem that a lot of landscape photographers encounter from time to time, and that's perfectionism. I've kind of got into the bad habit of looking out my window, looking at the conditions and envisaging the shots that I want to get, and if the conditions aren't 100% aligned with the vision I've got in my head, I don't go out. I don't go out and try and get the shot because I deem it to be not worth the effort. And I think that's a really, really bad habit that I've got into. Really, really bad habit. And I alluded to it at the start of this video. I was very close to not coming out tonight at all. Quite unbelievable. And you can just see it's always worth coming out. Even if you don't get the shot, just look at this. Just having this all to myself, I would not have this opportunity if I'd stayed at home on the couch. My concluding thoughts would be, if you find yourself umming and ahhing about whether it's even worth to go out and try and get a shot, don't overthink it. In fact, there's nothing to even think about. Go out and try. All you can do is try. And ultimately, to get the shot, you have to be out there. You have to be at the locations. Sometimes it'll work out for you, sometimes it won't, but very much I feel as a landscape photographer, it's sometimes about playing the odds. Sometimes you'll have shoots that really, really don't work out for you. Nothing goes to plan, the weather conditions don't align, and yeah, that can be frustrating. But sometimes the opposite can happen. Sometimes conditions can align out of nowhere. Unexpected things can happen. You can see compositions that you never even dreamt of before. And that's I very much feel you have to be out there to give yourself that opportunity. So yeah, don't fall into the same trap that I have been falling into lately. Go out there, make the most of this beautiful British summer weather, and get shooting. As if my concluding thoughts didn't need hammering home even more, I was just blessed to an absolutely stunning sky that just lit up in every shade of orange and red you could imagine. It was incredible. All those bands of cloud that I was pointing out earlier, they were just glowing in the sky, and I simply had to get my camera out and take another shot. So I didn't really have enough time to actually film it, so I'll just talk you through exactly what I did. I set up my tripod just down here, and there's not really much foreground interest here, and you may have watched a vlog a few weeks ago where I placed a stone into the foreground of a beach shot. You'll find that at the top now. But this time I didn't want to do the cheating. No, I was going to play this one with a straight bat, and I didn't put any foreground interest in it. What I went for was to try and make the little pebbles that sit in the sand here, try and make them the foreground interest. And I think as the waves were washing in and as they're pulling back over the pebbles, it actually created quite nice effects. So with a shutter speed of about 1.3 seconds, I could pick up quite nice movement in the water as it retreated back to the sea. And I think that will give me a foreground that's got a bit of interest in it. The background doesn't need any work. The fireworks were going on back there, but it was about trying to get balance in the shot and trying to get something that would complement the stunning backdrop to this image, and I think it's turned out relatively well. So again, a shot that I would not have succeeded with or taken or even experienced and seen if I'd stayed at home. So yeah, quite remarkable evening. So my second concluding thoughts would be, don't chase perfection. It's impossible. It's a trap that I've fallen into so many times. Try and enjoy the imperfections in your photography, because ultimately the imperfections are what makes your photography your photography. It's what adds unique touches to all of our photos. It's what makes us all different. If we're all trying to do the same thing, then ultimately, what's the point? So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little eye-opening journey for me. I've really enjoyed this, and I think I'm going to be doing a lot more shooting in the coming nights and the coming weeks as a consequence of this night, because it's just been an absolute joy. It really has. If you've enjoyed it as much as I have, then please consider liking or adding your comments below. I'm always interested to hear your thoughts if you've gone through similar kind of feelings to me, and if you've particularly enjoyed it, then please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.